your host, Todd Huff. There we go, YouTube. Took a minute. Sometimes the software acts stupid, and there it did that getting set up here this morning. But good to be here. Hour number 2. Thank you for watching, listening, no matter where you might be. It's good to have you. So last hour we talked about a little bit about Kamala Harris, the choice that Joe Biden had made regarding his VP pick for president of the United States. Biden trying to tell us in an email that this wasn't a political pick. In fact, this was a governing pick. Kamala Harris has what it takes to be the necessary sidekick of Joe Biden. In fact, what we know about Joe Biden, Biden says he only wants to run for one term. Biden is 77 years old. And I think I saw a poll that showed, I think it was 52%. 52% of Democrats do not believe that Biden is even going to finish his first term. So in a lot of ways, Biden, and this could be a spin that the media could put on it. If this was, again, if the shoe were on the other foot, as we say, if Biden were a Republican, and of course he's clearly not, despite what the radical unhinged left has to say about these things. Biden is not a Republican. He's not a right winger, and neither is Kamala Harris. Even though that's the narrative now for the radical left, and I'm happy to see that. By the way, I'm happy to see the radical left. The radical left is probably not real happy with this pick, but again, where are they going to go? Where are they going to go? Where are they going to turn? So this. If Biden was the Republican here, there would be criticism on the process. He would be undermining our democracy, in fact. Biden would be accused, if he were a Republican, of interfering with America's system on choosing presidential candidates because since Biden is only going to be running one term, it is ostensibly the decision of one man, and may I add, a white man, an old white man. An old white man got to pick who the presumptive next presidential candidate for the Democrat Party would be. He got to hand select, silencing all the voices of the people, undermining our democracy, interfering with our ability to manage and maintain integrity in our elections. Undermining it completely. That would be the narrative. Probably for all we know, if Trump was a Republican, that we would have heard that Russia had sent Biden an email telling him which black woman to select to be vice president and as, by extension, the future president of the United States. I'm sure if Trump or Biden was a Republican, that would be the narrative. And there'd be people out there this morning talking about that. That conspiracy theory probably may literally have worn tinfoil on their heads for said interviews. But that's not how this is done. No one asks any questions. No one has any curiosity. They might pass over some of these things kind of in a cursory way. But the truth is, folks, is that there's a lot of problems with this candidate, with Kamala Harris, and there's a lot of problems in the Democrat Party. I want to go back. So remember the whole Me Too movement, right? I mean, that's kind of what started this, I don't know, this incessant focus on promising the American people that he would pick a woman was the Me Too movement. Because, there are waves in culture, and again, I'm not saying that there's not real, Democrat politicians look for waves that they can ride, that they can piggyback onto that will help them politically. This is undeniable. This is why I say people, politicians, the government has looked for ways to exploit the COVID crisis to, in some cases, do things that they've wanted to do forever. I mean, you see some of the things they're doing with churches in the People's Republic of California. Churches, businesses. I shared something that my friend, his wife, who owns a business in California, and I found out he messaged me. I knew they were in Northern California, but I think he said about 90 minutes south of San Francisco. And I think he said 20 minutes maybe from Monterey, I believe is what he said. Anyway, that vicinity. So he lives there, and I shared some of the oppressive things that's happening to her. She's not been able to open her business but for, I think, a couple of weeks over the course of the last 5 months or so since the COVID crisis began. So we've seen, and of course, the state still wants its fees. You still got to pay. She has to pay a $900 fee for something, and if she wants to operate outside, she's got to pay another $250. But she can't be open. She can't be open. She can open outside. She can do bikini waxes out in the parking lot in front of I don't know if it's in what the particular area is, but just imagine. I mean, these are private things, but she's got to do it outside, and it's just ridiculous. But yet the fees are still due. In fact, there's a fee for her to operate outside. She can only operate outside now, doing bikini waxes or facials or whatever all she does. And these are the sorts of things that we've seen happening in the state of California. Not only that, you can't sing in church in California. And how in the world do we enforce this? Can you sing on the sidewalk? Governor Newsom, can you sing in another building? What if we meet in a place that's not a church? Can I sing in the grocery store if I wear my mask? What about that? Boy, they wouldn't even know what to make with that. I wear my mask. I'm in a grocery store. I'm socially distanced with my mask. I feel the urge to sing. Am I allowed to do that? I mean, are we prepared as a nation to go down the road with some of these things? But this is, the answer should be clearly and emphatically no. But some people take these things seriously. And that's what I mean when the Democrats propose these preposterous ideas and regulations and rules and whatever else, policies that they say are legitimate and all of this, or just this history between Kamala Harris and Biden. This would be presented totally differently if Biden and Kamala Harris were Republicans. Totally differently. They would have told us, again, that Russia personally wanted Kamala Harris to be vice president. I don't have any doubt about this. This is how this would be portrayed. And people would be nodding seriously. Man, Trump again. If this were Trump again, VP pick. To go, Putin picked his VP. He's a puppet of Russia. Meanwhile, we've got all these problems with Biden, with Kamala Harris, with the Democrat Party, with their ideas in particular. And there doesn't seem much concern about that. So I want to play this. So you go back, I was talking about the Me Too movement. You go back to the Me Too movement and you look at, what kind of happened with that. You had people being, saying that they had been raped or sexually assaulted by different people in Hollywood or wherever it was. And there was a lot of people that came out and said, me too. And that's a sad, awful thing, right? That's absolutely sad and awful. What's also sad and awful is that there's politicians out there that seek to exploit this, that seek to exploit this real pain. And so as a result of this, Biden gets accused as well. Remember Tara Reade? We're supposed to believe all women. Suddenly you're supposed to listen to all women. It went from believing all women to listen to all women because Biden got accused. And that's how it was portrayed in the media too. Then they go back and double back and tell us, well, that's really not what we meant. We didn't mean believe all women. We meant listen to all women. Okay, then why'd you say believe all women? Well, blah, blah, blah. But basically, he's a Democrat. He might be the president, the presidential candidate, and we can't really be saying those sorts of things about that. So we got to change the rules. Okay. So this all came up during the debate season, right? So Biden had been accused of, raping. I've said that on this program before. And I'm not minimizing sexual assault by any stretch of the imagination, but straight up accused of rape. If you look at the definition of rape, Biden is alleged to have committed rape against Tara Reade. Now, I'm not saying that that's absolutely what happened. I don't know. But I will say this, when people have no curiosity about this, when people do no looking into this, when the rules change for the person accused, who happens, by the way, to be one of the Democrat Party presidential contenders and now the nominee, presumably. We're not technically to the convention yet, but presumably the Democrat nominee for president of the United States, when the rules change and no one has any curiosity about the allegations made against him, something is wrong. And that makes my spidey senses kind of go off. Anyhow, so this was all going on during the campaign, during the debates. Kamala Harris was still in the race at this time. And she takes to the podium and she's asked about whether or not you believe Biden's accuser. In this particular case, it's Tara Reade. And there's others as well. Remember, there's multiple. Even though we're not supposed to talk about this or know about this or care about this, because again, Democrat gets special treatment, whatever else. So let's listen to what Kamala Harris says, who's now his VP choice. You know, if Kamala Harris is a former district attorney and by all reports, a tough one. In fact, maybe even too tough. There's allegations, and Tulsi Gabbard has made, maybe we'll play those as well, but Tulsi Gabbard has made it clear that she is, she's alleged to have hidden evidence or not made evidence public that would have exonerated someone of committing a crime. I believe someone even potentially, on death row. Anyway, so there's lots of problems here. The left doesn't like that side of Kamala Harris, but she's a district attorney. She's an attorney. They hooked Biden up with an attorney. So you've got this person, this candidate, Kamala Harris, who understands the law. She knows that Biden's been accused of rape. She says here in this soundbite I'm about to play that she believes the women. Why would she accept? This would be my question to her if I could ask it in the media. Senator Harris, why would you accept the nomination from a candidate that you are on record as saying you believe raped women? Because that's exactly what this means. So I want you to hear this, and remember, she's now accepted this nomination to be vice president, God forbid, of the United States should Joe Biden win the presidency. But listen to what she said about him when asked about his the allegations made against him, sexual assault, the Me Too allegations.
And I respect them being able to tell their story and having the courage to do it.
Do you believe that the vice president should enter this race?
Oh, he's going to have to make that decision for himself. I wouldn't tell him what to do.
Okay, she wouldn't tell Biden what to do, but she believes the women who have made these allegations. Why? Why then, if that's the case, would you accept the nomination from someone that you just admitted that you believe is a rapist? Why? I believe it was a little hard to hear that audio. I knew it was going to be, but that's the only place I could find it. The actual clip, I've seen the copy in writing, but I wanted you to hear her say it herself. Why? Why would you take the spot, the opportunity? Why would you endorse and support and be a part of in this Me Too movement as the first female, potentially the first female vice president in American history, maybe one day the first female president in history? Why? Although we don't know. We don't know how all the founders identified. I just want to go on record as saying that. We don't know. They didn't ask those questions back then. They actually looked at things like biological sex. But anyway, why? Why would she take this nomination? Is that really what the first female vice president, potential first female vice president, should she be involved on a ticket with a man who raped someone? Again, allegedly. I'm just saying allegedly. And the reason we have to say allegedly is because there's no curiosity or interest in this, and it's not discussed, it's not investigated in the media. We're just supposed to take people's word for it. Couldn't have happened. Next thing. Trump's a racist, bigot, homophobe, whatever else. So, But that's a legitimate question I think Kamala Harris will be asked. And of course, she won't be asked it by the people in the media. Instead, we'll focus on the historical relevance of being the first female, potentially the first black female vice president in American history. And we'll go through that, which is, again, as I said last hour, it's a great thing that we're at a point in American history where we can actually nominate or have people on the ticket who historically would not have been there because of the racism in America's past, but now they are. But we shouldn't be picking people simply because of that. That's just not, that's patronizing. That's purely political. That has nothing to do with governing or the best leader. Whenever you say at the beginning, which Biden has said, I want a female candidate and probably even a black female candidate to be my vice presidential running mate. That's simply identity politics. And I got to take a break. Quick break, come back and continue this discussion. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
Are you one of the growing number of Hoosiers who are concerned about higher taxes, ever-increasing spending, and massive debt in Indiana? So am I. I'm Donald Rainwater, and I'm the Libertarian candidate for governor here in the state of Indiana. As your governor, I'll work to reduce the size of state government, protect your individual rights, and keep more of your money in your pocket. I believe every Hoosier is essential. I also believe that every Hoosier has equal protection under the law to operate their business, attend religious observations, and provide an income for their household, even in a crisis. I believe that all Hoosier businesses provide the necessities of life to their owners and employees. As your governor, I will safeguard your rights to life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness as defined by you, not the government. To learn more, go to rainwaterforindiana.com. In Indiana, we need better government, not bigger government. And on November 3rd, I need your vote. My name's Donald Rainwater, and I approve this message. Paid for by Rainwater for Indiana.
If you own a rental property, you know the hassles of marketing, renting, collecting, and the handling of maintenance and repairs. One call to Zuluscape can put an end to your property management headaches. Zuluscape has over 20 years of experience helping landlords throughout central Indiana and taking the stress out of owning a rental. From A to Z, let Zuluscape handle it all so you can enjoy owning a rental instead of hating being a landlord. Give us a call at 317-663-8485 or visit our website at Zuluscape.com.
Ever wondered what shooting a real machine gun feels like? At Indie Trading Post, you can have an awesome and safe shooting experience in our family-friendly environment. Firing a weapon on full auto is something you will always remember. Schedule some range time today and let Indie Trading Post give you the real machine gun shooting experience. We guarantee you'll have a blast. Give us a call at 317-782-4867 or schedule your range time at fullautoindy.com.
Radon is an invisible, odorless gas that kills more people than drunk driving. In fact, radon is the leading cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. Is radon threatening the health of your family? Call Radon Environmental at 317-843-0804. Radon Environmental specializes in radon testing and mitigation. The process is quick, easy, and worth it. Radon Environmental wants to make sure your family's health is not at risk. Call 317-843-0804.
Need to refresh or renovate your commercial space? Call Interior Construction Services today. Providing the highest level of quality construction at a competitive price, our service-minded team is here to deliver the detail-oriented environment you're looking to create on time and on budget. Call us at 317-991-4660 or visit us online at interiorconstruct.com. Interior Construction Services. Progressive, productive, professional.
Outside of the federal government, no one likes losing money. Any amount of money, not just the $6 billion the State Department lost. And what makes losing money worse is knowing that we could have done something to stop it. Well, if you have an inefficient furnace, a toilet that won't stop running, or a leaky faucet, you can do something about it. You can call the good folks at Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. Call 317-831-5279 or visit economyheatingandair.com.
The printing industry has changed a lot since we opened for business in 1931, but what our clients expect from us really hasn't changed. Quality print, fast turnaround, and competitive prices. We've learned a lot at Moeller Printing over 86 years and 3 generations. Why not put that experience to work for you? Call 317-353-2224 and mention discount code RADIO to receive 10% off your first order. Call Moeller Printing at 317-353-2224.
Welcome back. This chasm between Biden and Kamala Harris runs pretty deep, runs ideologically deep, and it goes back primarily to the debates, the debate season. But we talked about last segment how Kamala Harris says that she believes the women who have accused Joe Biden. That seems to be a bit of a problem. Again, as I said, why would you want to be the vice president? And maybe there's an answer. Maybe you want to say, hey, I want to bring a moral compass to this administration. Should we be elected? I don't know. Give me some answer. Don't just pretend like you didn't say these things. You said that you believe the women who made the allegations against Biden. One of those women was named Tara Reid. She alleged that Joe Biden raped her. As a former prosecutor who clearly understands these things, understands the law, understands the definition of rape, she knows this. Why? Why would you accept that? Help me understand that. Help me come to grips with that. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, another thing, Joe Biden, the issue of busing, Kamala Harris. You might remember this if you watch these Democratic debates. These clown shows as they turned out to be. It was a contest as to who could give away the most, who could drive up the price tag for running the American government the highest. I mean, we had all sorts of numbers. Bernie back in 2016 stood out because Bernie was an outlier. Bernie was not part of the mainstream back in the day. That being said, in 2020, Bernie didn't even stand out. I don't think. I think we had multiple people trying to out Bernie. Everything free. Heck, Biden jumped in on the mix, right? Biden's supposed to be this moderate. Biden, if there was no Bernie in 16 and Biden was on the stage saying what he was saying in 2020, what he has said in 2020, Biden would be the furthest left candidate on the debate stage in 2016. Without any question, by far, Biden would have been the furthest to the left. And we still would have had 4 old white guys in a Clinton back in 2016. And I miss my friend sexy Martin O'Malley. Guy was only polling at 1% until he decided to go shirtless on some beach in Maryland, and he doubled. He went up to like 2% for like a week and a half, and then he dropped out of the race. Now he's probably masked up. He probably goggled up. He probably has gloves on, whatever else the latest recommendation is. And by the way, I saw these neck scarves. There's research now saying that these neck scarf things that you can pull up over your face may be worse than not wearing any mask at all, but that's just something else. We have, by the way, in our newsletter, which is going to go out today. We're late on this issue. Our new staff member and I were working out a couple things, so that'll go out today. But we have some information on the anatomy. Not the anatomy. We call it the evolution of the mask. Got a graphic that I love, by the way. the evolution of the mask. You'll be able to read that if you're a new newsletter subscriber. You can do that by, going to toddhuffshow.com/subscribe, enter your email address, or texting the word Huff, Huff, to 31996. Anyway, I want to get back to Kamala Harris here. I want you to listen to how she talks about Biden. Now, she does say, I'm not calling you a racist, but she's saying some things that if it was said about a Republican, someone would say, you're calling that person a racist. In fact, she would have taken that sentence out and said, you are a racist, if she was talking to Donald Trump and the circumstances were identical. So listen to this exchange. It's about a minute between Kamala Harris basically making accusations regarding busing against Joe Biden. Here it is.
I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden. I do not believe you are a racist. And I agree with you when you commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground. But I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
So there's that disagreement. Now, she did go out of the way, and in fairness, to say, I'm not calling you a racist, but you're defending senators that were racist, and you're on the wrong side of this issue, which one would say is racist. So I have a problem with that, she's saying. I was a young girl in school, and I was impacted by this. I was that little girl. That little girl was me, right? This is what she's saying. So there's this rift between Kamala Harris and Joe Biden as well, which again is they're not going to address this. They're not going to say she had an epiphany and realized that Biden was a great guy or anything like that. They're just going to ignore this. They don't have to address this because they don't have questions from the media. They don't have people persistently asking for clarification. How'd you come to this point? But I find it interesting that the two primary reasons that Kamala Harris was selected, or forget even about Kamala Harris, just the reason that we, the two factors that went into choosing the vice presidential candidate for Biden was race and gender. And if you look at the two things they have a rift on here, one is she's not called Biden a racist here, but she's gone right up to that line. She had to make it clear that she wasn't calling him a racist. I mean, the only reason you would have to make that statement is because the things that you're about to say and accuse someone of might make some people think you're accusing him or her of being racist. So she had to make it clear she wasn't calling him racist. So she walked it up to the line, right? So race was a factor here in her selection. And then the other is gender. Gender, of course, has to do with the Me Too movement. She says that she doesn't, she believes the women that made the accusations against Joe Biden. Because, of course, women should be believed. Of course, not just heard now, but believed if they make an allegation. But none of this stuff, in a sane world, all these things would be questioned. If these things happened in your business, in your home, in your life, at your church, if you had things like this, you would ask, so Kamala, help me understand how you went from thinking Joe Biden potentially raped someone to now being okay with this nomination. Kamala, help me understand how you can get behind a candidate that you all but called racist back during the campaign. Were you just campaigning to win? Did you not believe those things? Were you lying then? Are you lying now? I mean, help me understand. Help me make sense of this. But none of that will ever happen because they're Democrats. They're politically immune from any questions because they are in ideological lockstep with the media. They are members of the elite radical left. But these are questions that should be answered. They're definite problems. Maybe there's some degree of an answer here. I don't know. We'll never know because it won't be asked. So that's all I want to talk about Kamala Harris today. Come back. We're going to shift gears a tad bit. Sit tight. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter? To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the healthcare they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
Our sense of smell stimulates memory and emotion. A scent can seemingly transport us to another place in time. Homemade, hand-poured candles and melts from spur-of-the-moment creations will give your nose the experience the rest of your body is missing during any season of the year. Crackling firewood, fresh-cut grass, Macintosh apple, and even racing fuel are some of their over 200 engaging fragrances. Visit spurofthemomentcreations.com and enter coupon code TODD at checkout to receive 15% off your order today.
We all know having health insurance doesn't always equal health care. That's why at Freedom HealthWorks, we believe the key to maintaining good health is based on a straightforward, personal relationship with your physician. With our direct doctor-patient relationship model, we remove your healthcare middleman and replace him with transparent pricing and incentive to call your doctor at the first sign of illness. So if you're ready to experience real care from a doctor that really cares about you, go to freedomhealthworks.com and learn more about the benefits of our direct primary care model. Freedom HealthWorks. Be treated better.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freege, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freege, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freege, owner and lead auctioneer at Freege & Freege Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
Are you one of the growing number of Hoosiers who are concerned about higher taxes, increased spending, and massive debt? So am I. I'm Donald Rainwater, the Libertarian candidate for governor of the state of Indiana. I believe that all Hoosier businesses provide the necessities of life to their owners and employees, and that all Hoosiers are essential. As your governor, I will safeguard your rights to life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness as defined by you, not the government. To learn more, go to rainwaterforindiana.com. We need better government, not bigger government. My name's Donald Rainwater, and I approve this message. Paid for by Rainwater for Indiana.
Our word can't be diluted because we are taught that a promise is a commitment in which you always follow through. No ifs, ands, or buts. So every time you walk through Greg Hubler Chevrolet doors, you can count on the advice and expertise we provide you. Because when we make a promise, we keep it. Greg Hubler Chevrolet. Promise kept. Visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
Welcome back. Shifting gears here just a little bit. Yesterday, Oz tells me I mentioned this. I didn't discuss this in detail. I mentioned a condition that dentists are calling mask mouth. It's a new term for the smelly side effect of wearing a mask. Now, this is more than just bad breath, but I want to read this article from Fox. Some bad breath just can't be covered up. Now that dentists have reopened their doors, they're having patients show up with a nasty set of symptoms, which the doctors have dubbed mask mouth. The new oral hygiene issue caused by, you guessed it, wearing a mask all the time to prevent the spread of the coronavirus is leading to all kinds of dental disasters like decaying teeth, receding gum lines, and seriously sour breath. We're seeing inflammation in people's gums that have been healthy forever and cavities in people who have never had them before, says Dr. Rob Raimondi, a dentist and co-founder of One Manhattan Dental. About 50% of our patients are being impacted by this, so we decided to name it Mask Mouth, after meth mouth. Oh, that's nice. The term meth mouth is widely used by dentists to describe the dental problems that arise among methamphetamine users. Addicts often end up with cracked black and brown stained teeth because the stimulant causes sugar cravings, teeth grinding, and jaw clenching. They also often neglect their oral hygiene. While mask mouth isn't quite as obvious, if left untreated, the results could be equally harmful. Gum disease or periodontal disease will eventually lead to strokes and an increased risk of heart attacks, says Dr. Mark Sclafani, another co-founder of One Manhattan Dental. He says the stinky syndrome is triggered by face coverings, since wearing a mask increases the dryness of the mouth and the buildup of bad bacteria. People tend to breathe through their mouth instead of through their nose while wearing a mask. The mouth breathing is causing the dry mouth, which leads to a decrease in saliva, and saliva is what fights the bacteria and cleanses your teeth. He adds that saliva is also what neutralizes the acid in the mouth and helps prevent tooth decay and gum disease. So, it's like, where's the scientific community on this, right? I mean, we're told, again, I think I mentioned we put together a little graphic and a little kind of a month-by-month replay, if you will, of where this country and the world stands on mask usage since, I think it goes back to February. And it's remarkable to look at this and see, and again, it'll be on our webpage, or you can read about it in the email newsletter. But it's, again, we're now being told, in fact, I've seen videos of people that are getting, physically, arrested, detained, forced by law enforcement. This is another, I don't know if I've seen one here yet, but I saw one in Australia. Someone doesn't want to comply with the mask order. They're going to the ground and they're going to wear a mask. You're going to put one on. Now we're finding out that, again, there's the scientific evidence to masks shows that, I think in the last 11 years, there's been 8 or 9 studies. Every one of them have shown that they make no statistical difference in transmitting and in reducing the transmission of the flu is what they were studying. This was before COVID. So now we're being told, in addition to they're not working, that they may cause other problems. In fact, there's something here that I just saw this morning that said that these neck scarves are actually not helpful as well. So again, I want to know where the pro-science community is on this. The people that preach to us about whether or not they should, how we should live our lives, how we should, adhere to these policies without asking any questions. And again, I'm not arguing against the notion, but I'm just saying, where's the evidence? The things that we allow our government to do and get away with is quite remarkable. Anyway, just wanted to share that for those of you who are not on board with wearing masks. Yet another reason to have questions about it. Mask mouth, which not only gives you bad breath, it could give you gum disease and cavities, according to dentists in New York City. It's bad enough to have its own term. So whatever that's worth. But take a break, come back, and a couple other things before we wrap up for the day. Listening to conservative, not bitter talk, which, by the way, listening may cause you to lean to the right. Be advised. Be advised, my vast team of lawyers have told me we must alert you to that for your own safety. Be back in just a minute.
Listen to Todd's show on your way to work, but want to hear more? Don't miss a beat. Visit toddhuffshow.com/listen to catch the program anytime, anywhere.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
I love my community, and I wanted to do more to make a difference with my hard-earned dollars. I wanted to make an impact and help shape our future and our county. So I gave money to the Community Foundation of Morgan County. More than just charitable giving, the money I donate is tracked and measured so every dollar is held accountable. It's a social return on your investment. Why don't you join me in donating at cfmconline.org? That's cfmconline.org. Philanthropy with measurable impact.
Hi, my name is John Swadner, Sales Director of the Todd Huff Show. As a listener of the program, you know the show is growing. 4 years ago, it began as a podcast in a closet. Today, it's a 2-hour show that airs during morning drive in Indy and in Utah, and we're just scratching the surface. Todd brought me on board to help the show and our advertisers grow. That's why I'm specifically looking for partners who are a good fit to advertise with us. Would that be you? To learn more about what advertising would look like and to determine if it's a good fit for your business, shoot me an email to john@toddhuffshow.com. And be sure to ask me about some of our special packages that will save you up to 40%. Email john@toddhuffshow.com. Shoot me an email today.
Wallace Construction is a family-owned business with 45 years' experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. At Wallace Construction, our wide variety of experience and top-notch customer service have helped us build a strong reputation in central Indiana. But we don't rest on that reputation. We build it, one job at a time. If you have an upcoming project, call us at 317-422-5356. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356, and ask for Richard or Roger.
Indy Decorative Concrete is hiring immediately. They're looking for workers with experience finishing concrete. Pay is $25 to $30 per hour with weekly overtime. All jobs are located within the city of Indianapolis. Call 317-784-1464 or apply in person at their offices located at 8366 Brookville Road, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46239. They're open Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, visit their website, www.indydecorativeconcrete.com. www.indydecorativeconcrete.com.
When life is hard for the women you care about, there is help with issues such as widowhood, anxiety, depression, or abuse. They don't have to go through it alone. Peace Restored is there to walk with women through the journey. Peace Restored helps women through free mentoring, counseling, and education. When life is hard, Peace Restored is there to help women you care about find hope and healing. To learn more, visit peacerestored.net.
Welcome back. You know, we've been talking about race today, and it's I mean, this is obviously a problem in America today. And so there are all sorts of reactions to this, political reactions, cultural reactions, all different sorts of things, good and bad. I'm just saying. But here's one the stage that we're setting here for true racism and true, I mean, just culturally what folks are embarking upon. Supposedly well-respected individuals or groups or organizations. Although on this one I hesitate because it's the AP, but they're a group that the Associated Press, it's a well-established, respected, so I know it's media, but, you know, it's a group that has a following, and they have some, I hesitate saying credibility, but in certain circles, they certainly do. And this has been a couple of weeks ago, almost a month ago now, and I've had this. I just haven't found the time to talk about it, but I was talking about this with someone yesterday, and I just thought maybe I should mention this. The AP, the Associated Press, says it will capitalize black, but not white. The word black, but not the word white. So I want to read this to you really quickly. After changing its usage rules last month to capitalize the word black when used in the context of race and culture, the Associated Press on Monday said it would not do the same for white. The AP said white people in general have much less shared history and culture and don't have the experiences of being discriminated against because of skin color. So it sounds to me that the AP is starting to sound like Joe Biden here, saying that the black race is not very diverse. That's what they're saying here. White people are more diverse than black people. I'm just telling you what the AP is saying. Protests following the death of George Floyd, this piece writes, which led to discussions of policing and Confederate symbols, also prompted many news organizations to examine their own practices and staffing. The Associated Press, whose style book is widely influential in the industry, announced June 19th it would make black uppercase. In some ways, the decision over white has been more ticklish. Okay. The National Association of Black Journalists and some black scholars have said white should be capitalized too. That should be obvious. If that's the case, I mean, why would it not be? Well, they're going to tell you why, and it makes about as much sense as anything else that they tell us. This is what they say. We agree that white people's skin color plays into systemic inequalities and injustices, and we want our journalism to robustly explore these problems. John Daniszewski, the AP's, and that's probably mispronounced, the AP's vice president for standards, said in a memo to staff Monday, but capitalizing the term white as is done by white supremacists risks subtly conveying legitimacy to such beliefs. Well, I have a question. What if white supremacists use periods in their sentences? Should the AP then recommend there be no periods? What if white supremacists capitalize the word black? Now what are we supposed to do? Should we then say the word black should be lowercase? What if white supremacists use quotation marks when citing, when quoting another particular speaker or another source? Quotation marks. Should the AP then say, hey, we don't want to subtly give credence to the white supremacists, so we won't use quotation marks? Where does this idiocy end? Where does this end? So that's the argument. That's the argument. This thing goes on. But this is stupid. This is what moving a nation towards true racism systemically. This is what it looks like. You capitalize black but not white. Why? I mean, it's humorous now. But as demographics change, as white population becomes, more and more, less and less of a, percentage of the whole, and they can be targeted more easily as a group. If this continues, this is problematic. This is the same sort of talk. You want to look to how the Nazis started with the Jews. This is how they started that, blaming them for all sorts of things pertaining to finance, banking, World War I, whatever else. And then suddenly the Jews became hated and alienated, and the Jewish people have been hated throughout history. And they've miraculously, only by the hand of God, have survived and kept their identity as a people. But anyway, this is stupid stuff. More examples of stupidity out there. And this is applauded as ingenious, as healing racial strife in America, capitalizing the word black but not white. Gotta take a break. Sit tight. Be back in just a minute.
Is it possible to be a fan of the show if you don't have the gear to prove it? Why not be safe and remove all doubt? Shop for official merchandise at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
Our partner, Global Plasma Solutions, has published ionization testing results that demonstrate a 99.4% reduction rate on a SARS-CoV-2 COVID-19 surface strain within 30 minutes. This is the first instance that an air purification company has effectively neutralized SARS-CoV-2. Commercial Service Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is installing this solution in businesses and homes in South Central Indiana. Get your free information kit at commercialservice.com/info. Commercial Service, commercial-grade service for your home.
Anxiety, depression, relationship problems, past trauma. Problems rarely get better when given time. Care to Change counseling can help. Our professionals combined evidence-based care models with scripture to get you on the path to a productive life. We are here to help you make the changes you need for a healthier, happier you. Take that brave step today. Call Care to Change at 317-790-9396 or visit caretochange.org.
Ever ask yourself, what does my business insurance actually cover? Well, at AIA and Avon, we think you deserve to know. AIA is focused on earning your trust. We've found that when we educate our clients and truly listen to them, they allow us to work alongside them to put together the insurance plan they need. Whether your business is big or small, give AIA a call, 317-718-1747, or find out what we can do for you at AIA4lowrates.com. Advertisement sponsored by Grange Insurance.
Hey Indianapolis, by now you've probably heard about Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group. Jody and his team are experts at helping you prepare your personal or small business tax returns. You can count on Midwest Tax Group to get every deduction possible and work for your higher refund. And not just on this year's taxes, they'll check your prior returns for any tax savings you may have missed for free. Are you behind on filing your returns? They can file past due returns and help negotiate with the IRS too. They complete most tax returns within a week and charge an affordable flat fee, no hourly billing. And as their client, you can consult with the team at Midwest Tax Group year-round at no charge. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and Greenfield, with evening and weekend appointments available. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. That's 317-288-5260. Or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com. Midwest Tax Group can help you more than any piece of software ever could.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
The compassion of Christ compels us to stop what we're doing and seek that person out. I think as Jesus went in that famous song I sang as a little kid was Zacchaeus, come down. Zacchaeus was in a tree and he wanted to engage with Jesus, but he just couldn't, and Jesus stopped and he went over to him. If we are going to live a life of compassion, the compassion of Christ, are we willing to stop and seek those who need a touch of compassion today?
Welcome back. I know we talked about the vice presidential selection here, just in the waning moments here, but the New York Times is unbelievable to me. And I know who the New York Times is, but they say Biden's decision was groundbreaking, anointing. He anointed. This is something I told you earlier that politics to the left, to the radical left, government to the left is their religion. This isn't a religious, anointing. You were anointed in the Old Testament. You were anointed if you are being prayed over, if you're being, ordained to be a preacher or whatever. Biden anointed a woman of color for vice president and possibly a successor in the White House someday. Whatever. Anyway, Got to wrap up. Thanks for listening. SDG. See you tomorrow. Take care.
Seems like just yesterday that you couldn't find a quiet place to think in your home. Now all the